We got golf and we got lobster. Where else could you be but Prince Edward Island? Today on Score Golf. This is Score Golf, the voice of Canadian golf. Score Golf is brought to you by TaylorMade, the #1 driver in golf. Molson Canadian 67, the official beer of the PGA of Canada and the RBC Canadian Open. RBC, proud sponsor of the RBC Canadian Open and amateur golf in Canada. Hello Canada and welcome to Score Golf. Well, that house behind me should tell you that we are on Prince Edward Island. That is the Green Gables home of Anne. Of course, it's a fictitious home, but it tells you that we're on the island of Anne, and it also tells you that we're on a golf course called Green Gables, designed by Stanley Thompson back in 1939. It is a true gem, and we're going to show you this course and a lot more that makes P.E.I. Canada's #1 golf destination. Of course, there's more to do than just golf here. We're going to show you some of that as our show goes on as well. In fact, it is a jam-packed show, so let's get things started. Affectionately known as the Gentle Island, our nation's smallest province is actually pretty big when it comes to Canadian culture and heritage. Whether it's the famous P.E.I. potato, its location as the birthplace of Confederation, or the popular red-headed girl known worldwide, Prince Edward Island owns a long history and a large presence in Canada. You'll find a number of fantastic sites and activities here, and that includes golf. We start our journey across the island on the North Shore in the town of Cavendish, home to a pair of splendid courses. The first half of the duo is the Green Gables Golf Club, aptly named for its proximity to the magical Anne of Green Gables house. The best-selling novel written by Lucy Maud Montgomery in 1908 inspired the home that sits just off the course's 11th fairway and safely away from errant golf shots. Built by legendary Canadian architect Stanley Thompson and restored by Thomas McBroom, the layout provides everything a great seaside course should offer and more. There are holes carved around sprawling sand dunes and around the ocean waves, and featuring Thompson's trademark bunker designs. Weighing in around 7,000 yards, Green Gables' length and intricacies treat all golfers to a fun and relaxing round set against a stunning backdrop in one of Canada's national parks. Just a short drive away is another Cavendish course, Eagles Glen. It's a championship track designed by renowned architect Graham Cook, with 300 acres of beautiful countryside transformed into an 18-hole delight. The first thing most players will notice is the roller coaster moguls and mounding common throughout the course. Naturally, this challenges golfers with a number of uphill and downhill lies and forces every player to be sharp with approach shots. It's this links-oriented style that makes Eagles Glen stand out from its sister courses nearby. Inspiring views at every turn give each hole personality, while 5 tee decks allow golfers tremendous playability. Elegantly sculpted atop a fantastic P.E.I. landscape, surrounded by mature wooded areas, Eagles Glen creates an atmosphere golfers will want to enjoy again and again. Down the road is another Graham Cook design on P.E.I.'s North Shore, Anderson's Creek Golf Club. It's a woodland course that meanders through a densely forested area, guiding you on a beautiful adventure as tall pine trees look on. The elevation that starts on the par 4 third signals what's to come. The steep inclines and drops on this hilly terrain make club selection a priority and certainly test anyone's golf game. Finding plateaus in the fairways is likely to help keep your score from ballooning. The distinct feature of Anderson's Creek is, well, the creek itself. It runs right through the heart of the course and has to be crossed 4 times throughout the round. The best part about Anderson's Creek may come after the round, though, where in the clubhouse golfers are treated to as many complimentary P.E.I. mussels as they'd like. Now that's hospitality. And there are more mussels awaiting at Glasgow Hill's 19th hole as well. Perhaps the best of the North Shore bunch, Glasgow Hills opened over a decade ago to rave reviews and still earns them to this day. It was designed by famed architect Les Ferber, who brought his ample experience of building courses in the mountainous regions of BC to Atlantic Canada. Stretching across the land overlooking the P.E.I. countryside, Glasgow Hills is a delight to play, yet difficult to master. The back nine is where Glasgow really shows its teeth. The course ascends and descends with every hole taking advantage of its dramatic elevation. Holes such as the 240-yard par 3 13th and the 500-yard uphill dogleg 17th are a pair that stand out above the rest, and maybe on your scorecard too. Altogether, these 4 tightly bunched courses, about a half hour from Charlottetown, make for an easy opportunity to play 36 or even 54 holes in one day. When we come back, we'll tour around a pair of superb resort courses, Brudenell and Dunderave. And later, we'll show you the top course on the island, the links at Crowbush Cove. Welcome back to Score Golf. Well, Prince Edward Island is just jam-packed with great golf courses. Let's show you 2 more right now as we look at Brudenell and Dunderave. For over 45 years, Brudenell River has lured golfers east of Charlottetown for an exquisite golfing experience. Both members and guests alike have treasured this 6,500-yard gem, which features broad fairways and manicured greens, accented by numerous gardens, lakes, and ponds. With an unusual but fun mix of 6 par 3s, 6 par 4s, and 6 par 5s, the unique layout never gets boring.
Brudenell is beautiful. It's pleasing to the eye. It's a beautiful garden and river courses with obviously views of Brudenell River on quite a few holes. The greens are small to medium sized compared to other courses, so accuracy with irons, good short game as we have mounding around the greens, so it requires good technique.
The Robbie Robinson design includes a number of signature holes next to the Brudenell River. The 5th and 10th holes, for example, are a pair of elegant par 3s with beautiful vistas but are far from easy birdies.
Number 5 requires accuracy. I think you have to play smart. You have to pick a smart target and maybe forget the pin at some point and just make sure you hit the green and take your 2 putts and run. 10 right here. Again, the wind here will play a huge factor. You could hit a wedge and you could hit a 4-iron, believe it or not. Green can be a little tricky with there's a hump somewhere in the middle there, but otherwise what you see is what you get.
The rest of the back 9 offers a fun finish, but the par 5 17th is the highlight. With the clubhouse in the distance and a wide fairway in front, players are free to grip it and rip it here. A good drive sets up the opportunity for an aggressive second shot to the deep green, and the right distance control can result in a birdie chance.
17, great par 5, great start to the finishing stretch, overlooking the resort, beautiful view. Need to maybe cut the corner if you can, if you're long enough, so that you have a nice second shot and maybe a little pitch to the green.
If Brudenell is the resort's beauty, then Dunderave is the beast. The second half of the duo is a more recent construction built in 1999. Dunderave's red sandstone bunkers are certainly eye-catching, and combined with its championship length, the Top 100 course presents an intriguing blend of traditional and modern course design. At nearly 7,300 yards, Dunderave can be a brute to tackle, although there are friendlier tee decks to satisfy everyone's desires.
Brudenell's a little more open. You breathe. It's nice, fun. Dunderave, you're in your own world. It's a parkland course carved into the forest, and both are great experiences.
The Michael Herdson and Dana Fry design showcases the stunning P.E.I. beauty, and it has signature holes and views all over the golf course. But one that always stands out in the conversation is the par 4 8th. Strategy comes into play, whether the decision is to go big or play it safe. But either way, a tight, narrow green is ready to challenge.
When you get to the tee on 8, it's decision time. So it depends on your strength. If it's accuracy, not length, maybe you scale back and do the smart play. But the green is challenging as well. So the shorter club you have into the green, the better.
Later in the round, the par 3 17th will likely stop golfers in their tracks. Playing as long as 210 yards, it can be pretty tough to stick one tight on this dartboard.
17, depending on the tee deck that you're going to play, very, very tough. Obviously, it's a downhill shot, so clubbing can vary, but probably the most 3-putted green in the province, if not Eastern Canada.
The final hole at Dunderave starts with a straightaway drive off the tee, with a set of sand traps lining the fairway and protecting the pin are crucial to avoid, especially the deep greenside bunker known as the Dungeon. although years ago during a made-for-TV match, Tom Watson successfully got up and down out of there under the watchful eyes of Jack Nicklaus. As with Brudenell, Dunderave is one of P.E.I.'s most scenic tracks and a fun test for any player. But together, the two make up a formidable tandem and are a pair of excellent public golf courses.
Well, when you come to Prince Edward Island, you cannot not have some Cow's ice cream. This is the #1 ice cream in the world, folks. It is really good. This is P.E.I. Apple Crisp Noel is just given to me. It is out of this world. Let's find out a little bit more about Cow's ice cream.
Since the 1980s, Cow's Creamery has become as iconic to P.E.I. as Anne of Green Gables. The delicious ice cream has become world famous with a recipe that boasts only the highest quality of ingredients and a precise process. Once churned, this freezer stores up to 10,000 buckets, drops the ice cream's temperature to -30 degrees. It sucks out the air and keeps the dessert very dense so it'll melt slower. Also a big seller for Cow's is its merchandise. All sorts of whimsical t-shirts and toys are produced here as well, with a wide selection available in the gift shop. The ice cream is the main attraction though, so pick a flavor, grab a waffle cone, and trust me, take 2 scoops to go.
Well, if you don't get enough excitement on the golf course, you can come here in the evening. This is the brand new Red Shores Racetrack and Casino. A fun night out. You can bet on some harness racing. You can try your luck at the casino. You can have a great dinner. And one of the most fun things you can do here is actually go into the barns and be an owner for a day. You can own your own horse for the night.
Under bright stadium lights, round after round of prestigious harness races go down to the wire here at Red Shores Racetrack and Casino. Whether you choose to wager or not, the fun-filled evenings are loaded with excitement and come complete with a tasty selection of food and thirst-quenching beverages. The track's special Owner for a Night program takes visitors inside the stables to see what happens behind the scenes in owning a horse. Ours was Outrageous Spirit, a 2-year-old filly getting set to go off in the 3rd race. After spending some time getting to know her, we headed in to grab a seat. Little did we know we wouldn't need it.
And she's homeward bound. Twinbee Miracle now second. Third on the outside is West River Wonder. Winning Twin coming up the inside. And she's there at the rail. Deep in the stretch. Winning. When in the passing lane. Look to get there for Jason Hughes.
Always unique and entertaining, Red Shores carries the fun from the golf course to the track. Coming up, we head over to the fabulous links at Crowbush Cove, and then we'll stroll through historic downtown Charlottetown.
The links at Crowbush Cove has consistently ranked as one of Canada's best golf courses, and with holes like this and spectacular views like this, it's easy to understand why. Let's take a closer look now at the links at Crowbush Cove.
Of all the golf courses scattered across Prince Edward Island, there's one in particular that locals agree stands above the rest, the links at Crowbush Cove. Truly a blend of nature and imagination, Crowbush has become the marquee attraction for golf on the island, drawing golfers from all over the world for more than 20 years.
20 years ago, the people that founded Crowbush, they really had great foresight, knowing that golf would bring tourism, a lot of tourism to P.E.I. 20 years, it is a great accomplishment. We've had numerous events there between skins games and matches with Vijay Singh and Mike Weir. Most people would consider it a hybrid. It's part link style, it's part parkland style. So definitely the course when people come to P.E.I. they would consider a must play.
Consistently ranking as one of our top 20 courses in the SCOREGolf Top 100, Crowbush's scenic setting is one of the best in the nation. The signature holes on this Thomas McBroom design all feature picturesque vistas, starting with number 7. It's a short par 4 that's reachable with a good drive, but be wary of the large front bunker which eats up anything short of the green. Continuing the fun is another beauty right after, the 8th hole.
8 is a great par 3. Always a wind is a factor there. It's 210 carry. Depending on what tee you play, it gets a little bit shorter. It's got a huge green, but that's usually not what you're looking at when you hit from the tee. You're usually looking at the water that's in front of you.
The course's highest elevation point atop the 11th tee offers a 360-degree view that is absolutely stunning. Once past the scenery, though, a true beast of a par 5 awaits.
11, beautiful hole. It's probably the most scenic on the golf course. When you get up to the back tee, you can look down both sides of the beach for miles. It's a very, very tough 5. It's definitely a 3-shot hole. Most often you'll have to lay up on your second shot to just short of the pond, and then a long approach to a very narrow green that's guarded by bunkers. It's a tricky hole.
The 16th hole presents an intimidating tee shot in front of a treacherous water hazard, but it's the devious green that players need to worry about once they've finished gazing down at the beach.
16's beautiful hole. It's right on the beach. It's probably one of the holes that people remember the most, or probably take pictures of the most. Starts with that tee shot over the water. From there, you're heading to an elevated green surrounded by bunkers, and usually that's when people get their cameras out because they're on the green, they see down the beach. It's a beautiful hole.
The link's at Crowbush Cove, one of P.E.I.'s and Canada's finest jewels. With its close proximity to the Atlantic Ocean, fishing is one of Prince Edward Island's main industries, and perhaps no seafood is better than the locally grown oysters at Raspberry Point. After spending 6 to 7 years, that's right, years, in the cool waters of P.E.I., tens of thousands of oysters are washed and packed right here and shipped all across North America. Renowned for their wonderful salty taste and mouth-watering flavor, it actually takes serious skill to crack them open.
Well, one of the toughest things to do is to get these little fellas open. Once you get them in here, you got to get what's out inside. It's called shucking. And Alistair, are you going to teach me how to do it?
I'll teach you how to do it, yeah. So what we're trying to do is we have to find the pointed end of the oyster here.
Okay.
And that's the hinge. And so what we're going to do is...
Don't stab me here. Hang on.
I'll try not to. So I'm going to stick the knife right in the hinge there. That's sort of the easiest access point. What we're going to do is I'm going to run the knife along the top of the shell till I find the top abductor muscle, cut it, and that's going to free up that top shell. It's going to be free. Then we're going to find the bottom of the abductor muscle there, the bottom part. We're going to cut that off. Now that that's loose, get rid of all the shell there. Give it a quick sniff, make sure it's good, and then hand it to someone and
it's good.
Let them slurp.
Who knew that an oyster had abs? Oh wow, that's really good. That's really good. Thank you very much. That's awesome.
Despite prohibition laws that weren't lifted until 1948, Islanders were quietly brewing alcohol for decades in barns, basements, and sheds like this one, where Myriad View Distillery operates. These days, Shine is legal and is a local hit with the same recipe they used generations ago.
So we're going to keep much along the same line as our forefathers did. We're going to use molasses, because we would have stole the blackstrap molasses from the horse feed, and we're going to use sugar that we would have stole from Nanny's baking. So basically we take those products in and we set them off in large dairy tanks, 4,000 liters at a time. We put that in there, we let it ferment. Once it's done fermenting, we're going to put it in what I refer to as the big copper kettle.
Once vaporized, these valves are used to add certain flavors and clean up the taste before the 90% alcohol pours out into barrels. Don't worry, the old-fashioned favorite goes down a lot smoother these days.
When you drank that homemade Shine, you got that warm feel in your mouth followed by the burn down and then a little shake at the end. That was because the person that distilled it got a little bit greedy and they ran what we call some of the tails into the bottle. So we do very, very precise cuts in order to make sure you only get the very best product in your bottle.
And this is just here in P.E.I., obviously.
Just on P.E.I., this is where it comes from and this is where it's supposed to be.
After the break, we'll wrap up our visit to P.E.I. with some beer drinking and lobster fishing. Stay tuned. Named after a British queen over 2 centuries ago, Prince Edward Island's capital of Charlottetown is known for its great hospitality and long history. That history includes being the birthplace of Confederation. That's right, exactly 150 years ago, our forefathers journeyed here to Province House in P.E.I., where they first discussed a united government and merging colonies, kickstarting the process in officially creating our nation. And in 1864, those fathers of Confederation landed right here at Peake's Wharf. Today, it's a beautiful waterfront spot to enjoy a meal, peruse the different shops, or just relax under the sun. If you're in town for one of the numerous festivals, conventions, or farmers markets hosted in the city, be sure to stop off at the popular Victoria Road. It's a stunning spot to kick back, listen to the excellent entertainment, and enjoy a cold beverage or two. And if you feel like sampling the local flavor, give the Prince Edward Island Brewing Company a try. The award-winning beer is made inside this state-of-the-art facility in Charlottetown, complete with its own taps and merchandise shops for visitors too. Behind the scenes, the building is filled with signature suds and all the equipment needed to concoct its special recipes. The entire brewing process takes about 2 to 3 weeks, but once ready, bottling, packing, and shipping are all done here to meet the fast-growing demand.
All right, Mike Ross is here. He's the guy in charge here at least he likes to think that. He's in charge here at the Prince Edward Island Brewing Company. What a spot to come. This is a fantastic spot. And the best part is, to start things off, you're going to pour me a beer.
Great having the crew for a tour today. Bob, we're going to do the Iron Horse Brown. The Iron Horse Brown is gold medal winning best brown beer in Canada 2012. So
award-winning beer. I like it.
Bottoms up.
Okay. Now tell me a little bit about the history as we're drinking this of this brewery.
I'll tell you what, we've been going for 15 years.
Okay.
15 years.
Pretty good.
The craft beer business is going nuts on P.E.I.
And now, not only are you serving P.E.I, but this beer is going right across Canada, right?
We're in New Brunswick, Nova Scotia. We're in Newfoundland. We are in Alberta. And we're in BC.
Soon to be in Ontario.
Oh.
That's good, though.
Hopefully, yes.
So obviously these great beers here. Beach Chair, you told me, was the best seller in the summer?
Beach Chair is the best seller in the summer, big time. It's just a light, crisp, easy drinking beer. The Honey Wheat is our best selling beer, sort of year round. But like I said during the tour, no dogs, they're all good beer.
All good
all
beer.
Fun to drink.
Can we try it?
Let's try it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Along with beer, there's nothing tastier here than seafood. So hit the open waters and take part in the unique experience of lobster fishing. With Tranquility Cove Adventures, you're taken out on the Northumberland Strait for a full-day voyage that includes reeling in your own lobster.
All right, Perry, we got our trap up here now, and you got something, so that's pretty good. What we got in here?
Well, we got a couple lobsters in here, Bob. These are the perfect size lobsters you'd put on the table, actually. We have a female here. This is a new shell, nice and clean. That's about a £1.5 lobster.
How can you tell it's a female?
Underneath the tail is about a third wider, and it's about a third deeper than a male.
These ones are just for show. They'll go back and live down the bottom?
We have these for tourism as an educational tool to teach people about the lobster industry. We feed them every day, and at the end of the season, we actually let them go.
And how old is a lobster like this?
A lobster like that's only between 7 and 8 years old, somewhere's in there.
Okay.
They say they grow to 75 years. I think they grow to about 125.
125
That's what I think they do, yeah.
Wow, that's a long life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Prehistoric looking things.
Yeah, thanks, Perry.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
Week Speaks brought to you by Bushnell, the undisputed #1 laser rangefinder in professional golf.
You know, one concern I hear from parents who want to get their kids into golf is the cost of it. And yes, by the time you pay for equipment and lessons and green fees or memberships, it certainly can add up. But let's compare it to one of Canada's other favorite pastimes, hockey. Hockey equipment costs a lot of money, and there's also league costs as well. Might not be as much as golf, but now let's compare what you get for what you're spending. The average house league player in a hockey game will only touch the puck for 47 seconds. In golf, you're out there for 4 hours chasing your golf ball around the fairways. This is not to disparage hockey, which is a great sport, but folks should really look at what they're getting for the money they're paying. Suddenly, golf seems like a pretty good bargain. That's all the time we have for this week on Score Golf. I want to thank everybody out here in Prince Edward Island. This is a fantastic place to come and play golf. You got to get out here, folks. P.E.I. has some of the best golf courses in the country. We'll see you next time right here on Score Golf.
Score Golf is brought to you by Tourism Prince Edward Island. Come for the golf, stay for the party. Molson Canadian 67, the official beer of the PGA of Canada and the RBC Canadian Open. Clothing provided by Ashworth. All we do is golf.